Hi Papercrafters, welcome to another Design with Joe video. I'm Joanne Rogers, a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Central Alberta, Canada, and I've been designing with you in mind since 1999. Today's video is an edited version of a live recording. Enjoy! So this is Case the Cattie. And what is that, you're wondering? Well, Case the Cattie, CASE stands for Copy and Share Everything. And that means if you see a design, a card, a package, a 3D item, whatever that you love, either on a social media site, or in a catalog, then you can copy it and share it, and you can make it yours. So that's exactly what I'm doing here. Is I'm taking a card today out of the Stampin' Up! Catalog, and today we are working out of the annual catalog, and I'm going to break it down and I'm going to show you how I recreate them using different stamps. And so I will show you that, and then I also have a number of alternatives. And today I have 3 other alternatives. So you're actually going to see 4 designs, all based on one card out of the catalog. And I generally do not make the exact card out of the catalog, just because I want to give you more ideas. And that's what stamping is all about and what I'm all about. I want you to be using your stamps and realizing that they have all kinds more use than what you might think. I would love if you would share this video with your friends. Let them know that this is a free stamping event for them. They can come and watch, they can learn. I share all kinds of tips and tricks about stamping. I've been doing this for quite a number of years, and I would love to have everybody join in. And if you follow me, that would be perfect too. And if you'd like even more, I do some exclusive stamping in my VI Peeps group. So that is the Design with Joe VI Peeps, and I'll put the link in this video after we're done. And when I do that, that is a group, it's a free group, but it's exclusive. So I post every Tuesday night, I do another Facebook Live there where you guys get to be involved in what I'm creating. What we're gonna be doing is making one of the cards from here. And you might have seen it, but I'm not gonna point it out just yet. And one of the things you always want to do with my Case the Cattie is you want to come and take a look at my business page a day before at 11 o'clock the prior day. So on a Wednesday, I put this picture or a picture in there, and I just ask you to guess which card you think I'm going to make. And I'm going to give away to one of those people who guessed the card that I do make today. You don't have to get it right, but a lot of people did get it right today. Okay, so I'll come back to this a little bit later. So these are the supplies that I need to make this card. So again, the colors that I use are different than the ones that are going to be in the catalog. And so the card that I'm going to make is in sort of these bright colors, because I really felt like I needed a little bit of a pick-me-up when I was creating this the other day. So this is Mango Melody. And the size of this is 4 by 8. So 4 this way, 8, and I've scored it at 4. So it's a square card. And then I have a piece of Poppy Parade, and this is 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. I have a piece of our basic white that is 3 by 3, and this is just the regular one. And then I have a scrap as well of daffodil, and I need to have this at least be about 1.5 or 2 inches by 3. So I've just got a scrap that I'm going to cut out of. Okay, so I'm going to take my white first of all, and I'm going to pull in a piece of my my grid paper that I use with my Stamparatus, because we're going to be working on the background of this as well. One of the things that Stampin' Up! Has that a lot of us, you know, we sometimes think here they just don't look very great, do they? They actually are masks, but when they're like this, you don't see all the possibilities. These are the ones that are in and they come a package, and this package is called Plenty of Patterns one. Yes, Plenty of Patterns. So this is one of them. Aren't those great? So there's actually 4 patterns. This one is cool for a cut glass kind of effect. This guy here is just an all over pattern, as is this one. So I'm going to be using the one that Stampin' Up! Did use. They used one of these ones, but I'm using a different one. They used this guy here, and I'm going to use this one. So these are made out of a fairly thick plastic, and they're pretty flexible. And they're great for a bunch of different things, but how we're using them today is as a mask for stenciling. So we're going to stencil onto our square, and I'm going to pull in a little bit of Scotch tape. Actually, this isn't Scotch tape. This is stuff that has a different name. And so I'm just going to take away some of that stick. So if I had a sweater, I'd put it on my sweater just to take away some of the stick, because I don't want to rip my paper coming up. So off the screen, I'm going to put it onto my pants, and that way I can pick up some lint. Okay, so I'm just going to place this down. Excuse me, and I'm just going to catch the edge a little bit. Now I could do this with my washi tape, but I didn't get it out, so I'm going to use that tape. So this is the one I'm going to use, and I'm going to come into it from the corner. So I'm going to place it here and hold it down. Now what I do need to do is I need more of that tape, because I want to protect this part. Whoops, I need a little bit more tape, obviously. I'm going to protect that part because I don't want to get any ink there. So I'm going to take and get a little bit more lint on this piece here, and I'm going to tape this down. I'm going to just catch that end there too. So I'm just anchoring it. So a little bit more tape. Now I want to be really careful here that I don't get too much. I'm just going to do, I don't want to rip that coming up, and that would be not good. But so if you have washi tape, go ahead and use that, and it won't stick. Let's see, I think I just want to cover this. So what we're doing is actually we're masking off the white paper. So we're masking it so we don't get it dirty. So I am going to go ahead. So I'm using I could have gone with a larger piece. So I'm just placing that down. So now I am only going to, I'm not putting it square on there because in the picture, so I'm going to pull this picture in so that you can see it again. In this picture, it's just going off the edge. So mine might be going off the edge a little bit more, but this is the card we're making, and I want to show you exactly how to make that. So we're going to be using sponge daubers. Now these sponge daubers, how I store mine is I store mine in, this is an old cross stitch one that I have, and the cross stitch is no longer something that I do. I had a bunch of them, and then I put these sort of by colors, I guess, not by color family. So I have my oranges and my pinks, my greens and my blues, and then I pull out which ones I want to use. And when I have one, I put just a little sticker on it to tell me what color it is, so that I keep them in the same colors over time. So I'm going to move that out of the way. I'm going to pull in my Mango Melody, and I'm going to put that up there. I'm going to pull in my Daffodil Delight. So I'm going with 3 grades of color. Daffodil Delight is going to be my lightest color, then Mango Melody, and then Poppy Parade is going to be my brightest color. So I'm going to move all of these into the right spot. Now, when you're doing this technique, stick your finger in the back of your sponge dauber. That's why it's there. Pick up a little bit of color and then dab it off. So we don't want a huge amount of color. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with yellow in the center, and I am just going to swirl it on. So a really light touch. Now you can always get darker, but you can't take away. So lighter is better. And when you do this, it doesn't look so fabulous when you're first doing this part, but believe me, it does when we're done. So I've got just a little bit of my Daffodil Delight. Going to go in with some Mango Melody, same process, tap it off, but I'm not going over the same spot, I'm going around the outside of that, blending a little bit over top of the yellow and then moving out from the center. So I'm creating a little bit of an ombre effect, but with a different color. Every time you ink, tap off, just so that you don't have a big whack of color, big splodge of color down when you first go to use it. So again, just a very, very light touch. Now I did find as I was doing this technique on a couple different masks, this works really, really well on one that has lots of big open areas like this one does. I've got a few more tips for you on different things that I used on my alternatives. So now I'm going in with my Poppy Parade, which is my darkest color. And I'm using just a light touch here. I'm going off the edge of my white paper, and that's perfectly fine. Whenever you go off the edge of your paper when you're creating your cards, what you're doing is you're making your piece of paper actually appear a little bit larger. So I'm not too worried about going off the edge because I've covered it up with the tape. You could mask it off with something else if you wanted, like a piece of paper. I just like the tape. Well, I'm liking the tape right now. Let's see if I like it when I'm pulling it off. I think that I've got probably as much as I like there. So what I've got is yellow in the middle. I've got light poppy parade on the outside, and it's graduated. So now what we want to do is we want to take this mask off. So I'm just going to pull this off, and this is where you really see how wonderful this is. So I'm going to very gently pull off my tape, and it's not sticking down too much, which is perfect. And this tape is just going to go in the garbage. So you can see where I got it on the edges here and how it did protect the paper. Okay, so that's what we've got, is a little piece. Now to clean this, the best way I found to clean it is just run it underneath running water and then tap, I used a paper towel to clean it. It didn't seem to pick up too much lint that way. You could also, if you wanted, just put it on a towel to clean it. So I'll set that aside to clean it later. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to stamp our words, and we're going to do that on our Daffodil Delight. And the words I've chosen is out of the In Your Words stamp set. And there are wonderful sayings in here. I like a lot of them. I've used this one, fantabulistic, I guess is how you say that word. It's a made up word. I've used the Hope This Card Makes You Smile, sending this card for no particular reason. Of course, this one we use a lot. Your birthday came, your birthday went. Here's the card I should have sent. That works really well for me. So there's all kinds in here that you're going to use a lot. So I've chosen today the Your Birthday Came, Your Birthday Went, because for sure I'm going to need that pretty soon. So I have Daffodil Delight here, and I'm going to take my Mango Melody and I just ink that up, and I'm going to stamp here. Okay, so I want one that's just a little bit darker. If I'd gone with my Daffodil Delight, I would have been able to see it, but not quite as well as putting the mango on top of there. So now we're going to pull in the tailor-made tags, and these are in the annual catalog, and these are, I think, pretty close to a must-have in people's stamping stashes. So I've used them over and over and over again, and they've used them on this card as well. So this is the second smallest of the square-edged tags, and it will fit perfectly over top of that stamp. So it will go right over top, and I'm going to run that through my mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss. Just right here. Okay, so to run that through, I've got my 3 plates, my number 1 and 2 of my number 2s, and that's going to go right through here. And like this, and I'm going to run that through. And I have already done that here. So now all we have to do is put together our card. And I'm just going to glue that down with my Stampin' Seal. So just a little bit of adhesive. I'm going to put that onto my piece of Poppy Parade. It fits right in the middle of it. And then I'm going to put this onto, use some dimensionals here. And I should have had my dimensionals on the back of that already, but I don't. So just some dimensionals to give it a little bit of height like they did in the catalog. And I'm going to pull that catalog in just a moment again, just to show you the difference between the one that they made and the one that I've made. So we're just going to place this right onto our square card. Now our normal thought is that this needs to be right in the middle of the square card. On that card, it's not. It actually is a little bit to the left. So I am just going to copy that, put it on, and we need a little bit of ribbon. We're going to use a little bit of the linen thread, and I'll just cut that off with my scissors. Put that through. That's probably a little much, but that's okay. That through and tie a knot in it, or a bow in it actually. I like the linen thread. I like the baker's twine, but I have to say I like the linen thread just a little bit better. And the reason why is it holds it, it comes on, both of them actually, all of them come on a round spool, but this one seems to hold this nice little curl a little bit better. I'm going to make that bow just a little bit smaller by pulling on the ends, and then I'll just tighten it up again. Now what I found is I'm going to actually use my mini dimensionals here. What I did find is as I was making this card that I wanted to, I was looking for my take your pick tool, is that it looks to me on the catalog that this is glued here and it has dimensionals there. So I've taken 2 dimensionals, 2 of our mini dimensionals, put that on the end, and I'm going to use a little bit of liquid glue on the main part of the tag here, just so that it's going to glue right down to our piece. Here we go. Now this goes right on the bottom. You see a little bit of the white still, and I'm just going to put that off to the side. And I'm just going to trim the ends. And to finish it off, we have some, I'm going to put on some of our Artistry in Blooms sequins. And these sequins come in 4 different colors, but I love these sort of oranges and this sort of Merlot color here, which I think is going to be great. And I don't know what I've done with my Take Your Pick tool. It was, oh, I know, it fell on the floor. So I'm going to use the old Stampin' Pierce tool. And I'm going to go for a large one here, I think. And I'm going to go for a smaller orangey guy. And do I want a 3rd color in there? No, I don't think so. I think I'm going to go for another orange guy. Just maybe over. I'm going to put, yeah, we'll put it there. So I like tucking it in behind and have it just peeking out. So there's our card. So there's the one, obviously different colors. Let me pull in the catalog, clean up just a little bit because I want to show you the other ones that I made for you to give you more ideas. Here's the one in the catalog. So you can see that it's very similar. This one here uses Daffodil, Pear Pizzazz, and Just Jade, which is this larger one here. So they've gone quite bright, cheery, and fresh looking. This one's a little bit more intense, but also very bright and cheery. So there's that one. And let me show you some other ideas. So there's one there. Here is another one here. So this one I used the same set of masks, and I did the effect. I have Flirty Flamingo in the middle. Then I have Fresh Freesia, and I have Gorgeous Grape. So you can see here just a tiny little bit of the grape where I missed it with the Scotch tape. So there's 2. Again, this is a little bit different. So even though that's the tag in the catalog, here I used a label, and this is one of the tasteful labels. And I also put the ribbon in behind. So you have creative license for sure when you are copying. This one here is, and I've used the words out of all of the In Your Word set. This one here is Christmas Snowflakes, of course. And this is a different set. So this set is, I think, the Adorn Me set out of the Holiday Mini, and it has snowflakes. So let me just, so that you can see those. So there's the snowflakes. I did find, just a little tip as you're working with this one was harder to work with. And the reason why, it has smaller little, it's not got as big of openings as this one. So you want to be much more careful when you're swirling on your color, and you might even need to dab it on. To dab it on, just tap it like that, as opposed to swirling on the color. But you can see, you can still get the variegated, I guess. And let me just show you the rest of those masks. So there's one that has, and these are stuck together, one that has diagonals. This guy here is sort of, I'm not too sure what you would call these, but just a pattern, I'm going to call them. And then this is like little diamonds. Okay, so there's those ones. And then you don't have to use a mask. You can create your own mask. This is one where I did a little bit more to it, so it's a little bit of a step up. So I've stepped up all of these ones, and here I created my own mask. And this mask is, I'm hoping you can see that, is just one out of the pumpkins, the detailed pumpkins dies. So I created that out of a window sheet. And it's a little bit different. So with these kind, you are sponging in the middle of this mask, and you're sponging in the middle of this mask as well, but you're also sponging around the outside edge. So don't be limited. Don't feel limited just by those masks. You can do whatever you want. And then I cut out some of the dies that go along with that. A leaf created with my, this is also my twine that I colored with my Stampin' Blends. And then this is one of the seasonal labels that I created a tag out of. So let me know which is your favorite there. Try and get them all 4 in a row. They're all different, give you a little different feel for the different types of things you can do with it. But really, don't be afraid to take an idea out of the catalog and just play with it. I come every Thursday morning at 11 and I give you ideas on a card out of the current catalog. And this actually is one of the most fun things that I do. Thank you very much for joining me, everybody. Again, I will be back again next week with a different idea. And if you want a little bit more fun before that, come see me on Tuesday night when we will be doing another fun project that you can get involved in creating. Thanks very much. Have a great weekend, everybody. Bye-bye.